on my property. You didn't win shit in my yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your hosts, Thomas Ahrens and Jared Mounts. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Live. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Fishing the DMV. I'm your host, Thomas Ahrens. We are live for our final live stream session of the evening here at the Richmond Expo. I went by this individual, and I will say my breath was taken away. A tear was brought to my eye because, this was like something you would see in an art museum. That should be somewhere in Key West with some of the stuff that you would see Hemingway when he talks about, the old man in the sea. Jack, this is. You know what? I can't do it justice. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this.
You're welcome.
This is amazing. What got you into this?
I have a nice wood shop in my basement, and when I retired, I have a love to fish. And I used to fish with some of my grandpa's old wooden lures and stuff. And I said, I'd really like to have some nice wooden lures, and you just can't buy them anymore. So I said, well, having a little bit of a talent in the wood shop, I said, I'm going to start my own creation and build my own wooden lures. And I'm not a painter as such, so I thought I'm going to use different woods, and I'll turn them on a wood lathe, and then I'll use the grain on the wood, and I'll put clear coat on there and use the grain as a pattern, put the eyes in, and try to make it look and put clear on it, and it makes it look use the wood grain itself to as a pattern for the lures. And they're all topwater lures for the most part. And I put once I machine them on my lathe, then I'll cut and drill the eyes in and add the different hooks and put the hair and the tails on them. And then I'll put the clear coat on them, and then they're ready to go either in the water or on display. I make a small little display with them, little logs or little stands, and a lot of people buy my lures as display items.
They're absolutely breathtaking. And when you're making something like this, is this all something that you just come up with in your head, or do you make custom ones?
If somebody calls me and says, hey, I have a lure, an old lure I used to use, and I'd like to try to have, and you can't buy it anymore, and I'd like to have more made, I would make, I could try to duplicate it on my lathe. Sometimes I'll take some old lures from the past and try to reduplicate some of the shapes that they had. And sometimes like this snake, this is a snake, it's a 4-piece snake. I decided I would try to make my own type of design and put a tail on it and give it the action like a snake would have in the water. So some of the patterns I make, I come up with myself, and other ones are just like a popper or whatever, or pretty much common type shapes of lures. I just try to recreate them out of wood.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. Now, if somebody wanted to order something from you, like how would they do it? Would they? Is there a website? Do you want them to email you? How would they go about it?
Okay, I don't sell online. I don't have a website. I didn't really want to get quite that big.
Yeah.
But I am on Facebook as Wooden Lures by Headley on Facebook, and you can follow me on Facebook, and I'll tell you exactly which shows I'm at. I go to just a couple shows a year, but if somebody wants something or was looking for something, then they could send me an email or give me a phone call, and I can either try to duplicate it. If I have it already in the shop, I can ship them to you. So I do ship stuff to people from my house.
Wow.
But
now you mentioned to my wife before we started broadcasting there, the procedures on how you actually finish this product, and that was really interesting, Carly. What you guys both were talking about with the varnish. Could you tell the audience a little bit about that? Because that is so interesting compared to when people make crankbaits or other topwater baits. The finish they put on it, and like you said, it makes a tackiness to it.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, when their baits, will put them in epoxy and dip them in epoxy, and then they turn that lure until it hardens. But then I think it becomes looks like more of a plastic lure. So what I'll do is I'll spray spar urethane on my lures. I'll put 2 coats of spar on there. I'll leave that dry, and then I'll steel wool that down, and then I'll put a third coat, and then I'll steel wool it again for the fourth coat, and then a steel wool again until I get my fifth coat. So I'll put 5 coats of spar urethane and spray it on, and then that seals the plug really well, and it makes it shine nice, and it protects it also.
Guys, this is it's absolutely beautiful. And I love how I think this was mentioned before we went live. But like what you said, I'll probably be wrong with this. But you said like 70% of the people, maybe 60, they think this is like. Is this something I gift somebody to put on their fireplace? Do I use it? I mean, they're just so beautiful.
Probably 70% of all my product will be sold in as gifts, and they say they're too pretty to fish with. They put them on display. They'll put them on their man caves, or they'll put them on their mantle. They'll put them on their desk. I've had people come in and say, I put one on my desk, and everybody comes into my office and says, where did you get that? And that is awesome. So it's more of a display thing. But the hardcore fishermen, they take the little stops off the hooks and they put them in the water. So
wow, what is there a particular bait that you really appreciate making more than others?
probably my best seller is the hula popper type shape, or the old jitterbug type shape, and I make a lot of them. They're probably one of the easiest ones to make. Some of the harder ones, like this one that has 4 or 5 pieces, that's a lot more difficult to make. But
guys, I'll hold this up to the nicer camera too. That way you guys can get a look at it as well. And you just talk about it like
that's
eyes. It's so amazing.
And that's a jointed snake, and the tail is replaceable with any soft bait you want to put on it.
That is wild. Now, are these eyes painted on, or are these googly? Or?
What I'll do is I'll drill a hole in the wood, and then I'll set a small rubber eye in there, and I'll epoxy the eye to it, and then I'll put the clear coat on top so it seals everything.
That's amazing. Carly. And of course, she actually comes up with the most obvious questions I look over. How much do these run?
Well, I typically charge about $25 a lure. And
you're underselling yourself. So.
And it's not lucrative, because if I figured up it takes probably at least an hour per piece just to make it. And then I'll sell my little wood stands for about $5. So I get typically around $25 to $30 for a lure and a stand.
So it takes you, for one bait, it takes you that long, or you meant like per segment?
For one lure, this lure here, I can probably make in about an hour total.
That's insane.
And
there's no way I could do that in a lifetime. I would be in so much trouble if I had to survive by making that.
Well, I'm retired, and it's something I enjoy to do. And when I finish with it, I can look at it and say, I did a nice quality piece, and I got pride in what I do. So
her grandfather has a woodworking shop too, but he makes furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
Was this a passion your whole life?
No, well, not really. I have a wood shop that I've always worked with all my life too. And then when I was fishing and using some of the old wooden lures, and when I couldn't buy them anymore, I told my wife, I said, well, it's time for me to try to start making my own wooden lures. And because you can buy anything from China made out of plastic, and just all they do is put a fancy paint job on it. But I can put quality and craftsmanship into my product, and I can put it on water and it works. So
now, unlike you two, I am an adept when it comes to art, ability, and wood. The different colors, is that represented by the different wood that you use?
Yes. All the reddish shape is eastern cedar. It's very buoyant. As soon as it hits water, it pops right up. The yellow one is a spalted poplar or poplar. Poplars are green. They're very buoyant woods. The dark browns are walnut. That's a little heavier, and it doesn't ski up. It'll come up pretty quick, but not quite as fast as the poplar and the cedars.
How did you learn that? The different buoyancies of wood. That's brilliant.
Just trial and error, and I've tried to use like oak or ash or something real hard, and it's too heavy and it sinks too much. So you got to learn what woods are most buoyant woods, and then I went from there. So it's just a lot of trial and error.
That's insane. Now, to attach the treble hooks to a bait like this, is there a particular way that you have to do it so maybe a kid at home that wants to do some woodwork or something like that, is there a specific way you need to fasten it so that you don't lose the hook
Well,
on impact?
there's hook keepers like this particular lure here will have two little screws and a keeper that you hook your hook to.
Okay, you screwed on.
Okay. These are screw eyes. These screw eyes here will go into your plug about 3/4 of an inch. So you crimp your hook onto this little eye, and then you drill a hole here, and then you screw it in the end of the plug. So and they make these. All the tackle shops will have the screw eyes and little hangers, or at least the tackle supply people have that kind of stuff.
That is so cool. That is so cool. What is something that you are the most? Is there anything in particular that you made that stands out to you? Just like just pride of something that you did.
Well, I like the the heel popper is one that my wife does all the deer tails and the treble hooks and ties this
Oh,
on.
she does that. Oh, wow.
She does that, but I've taught her how to do that. But then I like to tie the heel popper or the poppers I've got, and I like to put the feathers on it. And the feathers really give it the color, and then I'll put a little bit of deer tail with it, and then I'll put a hackle around it. So that really makes a really attractive lure when I do something like that. And I've kind of enjoyed making that kind of stuff.
That is so beautiful, guys. I just want to make sure I show this off to the camera. Like, the good Sony. Like, look at those feathers. Look how that comes together. I mean, it's so crazy when you say like it takes you an hour when something like this looks like it could take a week to make. It's absolutely insane.
Well, when I make them, I'll make like half a dozen or dozen at a time. I'll do a part of my process. I'll cut the wood, and then I'll turn the wood, and then it's a step process. So I'll probably make a dozen at a time when I make them, and then when I get ready to spray them, I spray a whole dozen. But if I would take all the time it takes to make them, it would take about probably an hour a piece to make them.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Charlie, you got anything to add? Any questions?
Do your feathers come from anywhere special?
I usually go these to the tackle shops and buy the feathers that people make flies and stuff out of. Once in a while, somebody will have some feathers. Say, here's some different color feathers. Can you use them? And I thought, well, yeah, I'll try them. So.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine being an artist myself, adding, feathers that you found out in the wild
Yeah.
or something, when you're outside, add onto a piece of art like that would make it even more special to be like, I got this feather. This,
Yeah.
such and such things.
Yeah, it's the pride in making the product that really keeps me doing it.
Right.
If it wouldn't be for that, well, it's
Right.
just a fishing lure, but it's I made that, it looks nice.
Now I have to ask: are you just doing fishing lures, or is there anything else that you like to do just for fun right now?
This is basic. I do some woodworking for myself, like I'll make a cabinet or I'll make some little bit of furniture. But for the most part, I spend a lot of my time in the shop making fishing lures now.
That's so cool. Again, guys. I mean, here I'm gonna put this back up on the screen, and again, when I re-upload this, I'm gonna put a link to all of his information in the episode description. Heedley Lures. Email him, give him a call, get one of these things, especially for the holidays, or if your man has a birthday up. This will definitely be something to get him because I think they're absolutely just beautiful works of art. Jack, is there anything else that we can do to promote you, or anything you want to tell people at home?
No, I'm I'm on Facebook and I have about 1,200 followers or so, and they want to follow me on Facebook and they find out where at least the shows I'm going to be at, and that would be great. So.
And then your Facebook name is
Wooden Lures by Headley.
Wooden Lures by Headley. Okay, guys, that'll be put in the episode description for the re-upload as well. Again, give him a follow. And then last thing, because I don't want to take up your time, I know you got really busy as soon as you came over for the interview. What is the next show that you're going to be at?
I'm going to be in it's a 2-day fishing show in Fishersville, Virginia. It's at the Augusta Expo Land, and that is in February the 11th, I think it is. It's the second week in February.
There you guys have it. So then if that's something you guys want to do, if you can't make it out to the Richmond Expo, because I know we're winding down here at day 3, you can try to go meet him up there, or again, follow him on Facebook and email him out. We got a small commercial break again before we get into our next guest. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Please give him a follow because he makes absolutely amazing baits. And we'll see you later. And that's
And hold on. You get a rod and reel. And you get a rod and reel. That's yours, buddy. All right, everybody look up and smile. Got happy parents? No, I'm not getting in there.
What was the secret to casting?
I tried my best.
That's exactly right. Try your best. You like fishing?
Yeah,
Do you? What do you like to fish for?
I'm bass.
Bass? You like catching bass?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 4.
4 years old. How about high five right there, girl? Hey, you keep working on that, okay?
Okay.
You catch, your goal is to catch bigger bass than the boys, all right?
Yeah.
That's right. That a girl. You put the worms on the hook too? All right. This girl knows how to fish. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And hold on. You get a rod and reel. And you get a rod and reel. That's yours, buddy. All right, everybody look up and smile. Got happy parents? No, I'm not getting in there.
What was the secret to casting?
I try my best.
That's exactly right. Try your best. You like fishing?
Yeah.
Do you? What do you like to fish for?
Bass.
Bass? You like catching bass?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 4.
4 years old. How about high five right there, girl? Hey, you keep working on that, okay?
Okay.
Your goal is to catch bigger bass than the boys, all right?
Yeah.
That's right. That a girl. You put the worms on the hook too? All right. This girl knows how to fish.
All right,
Congratulations.
Right here.
You're welcome.
I took my stupid looking brace off.
I hear you guys are doing amazing today.
It's been our best year ever.
I'll reach out on social media or whatever. Whenever we come up with
Yeah,
something,
it's probably our best year ever up here. We've had more kids this year than we've ever had. So
what we got?
it's putting you on the hot seat too, huh?
When did that close?
4 o'clock drawing. Yeah, we got you got time. I just had to run and get the.
All right,
Visa
guys,
gift card.
we are $40 away from our goal of getting $100, so we get these two to take a swim in a trout pond.
Scott Whitmore,
And because I'm losing my voice and I got 2 more, my pinch hitter's finally in.
Virginia Bass Chapter Federation. Virginia Bass Chapter Federation.
Go for it.
Hi, guys. Winding down here, the Richmond Expo. We've got Scott Whitmore with the Virginia Bass Chapter Federation. They've been neighbors to us here at the Richmond Expo right across the way, doing a lot of great things. Scott, tell us a little bit about your organization and what you guys do.
All right, we're one of the largest fishing organizations in the United States, affiliated with TBF out of Ponca City, Oklahoma. They affiliations through all the states in the whole country. Virginia is one of the largest. We're big into youth and conservation here, and that's what you've seen all weekend. Our whole goal for being at this show is not for the adults. If you notice, I got a lot of adult volunteers. We've had right around 200 kids come through our booth this weekend doing their casting skills. We've already qualified people for next year's state championship. We had the state championship yesterday. Girls who had qualified throughout the year at other locations across the state. They came here and competed, and anybody that qualified here Friday and Saturday morning also got to compete. So we actually had to have a cast off in 2 different age groups. We had multiple people tied. We had about 150, 200 people standing around watching the awards and all yesterday.
It's
We
pretty
thought that was
exciting.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
We had Timmy Horton come over, one of the pros, and give them their awards, and they were cutting up together, and it was really good.
I loved his picture. Did 3 different pictures, serious.
Yeah.
And then the smile, and then the goofy one, the silly one. So that was cool. When you say they could qualify at other locations before they come here for the state tournament, how can someone can just anybody coordinate that and facilitate that type of thing, or how does that work?
And we'll come to do it.
Okay.
We'll come put it up. We've got one coming up at Bass Pro Shops in Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
March 9th through the 29th. It's probably going to be the middle weekend there during their spring classic. And we'll be at Bass Pro Shops that Saturday and Sunday, putting on the casting competition. They're in the midst of scheduling one for the Richmond Bass Pro Shops here in Ashland. And then we have one out in Salem area, Roanoke area. Okay. And that'll be later in the summer. They'll have one out there.
You guys come as far as Winchester north or no?
We have people up. We do them up north.
Okay.
I have my state broke up into 5 regions.
Okay.
And I have a regional director in all those areas.
Cool.
And so they put on youth tournaments up there, casting competitions.
We might be interested. Jake's might be interested in that because I think, how important that is. We talked before with Thomas and how he got his start in fishing by winning one of those competitions, going to the state tournament as a young man, and then, fishing in high school, fishing in college, starting a college team at Shannon University, and then now doing this. Like that's where he got his start. And we did some video yesterday, and I got to go over there. I interviewed 2 of the kids, and I used to teach. So these kids, that passion, that excitement, they love fishing and catching fish.
Yep.
And at the bait and tackle shop too, I like, he could be, we have a 50 or 60-year-old. They share that same excitement as those kids did, in doing that. And that's awesome that you guys do that. And that's really cool.
Throughout the state, we have youth clubs and high school clubs.
Okay.
Just contact me. I can get you directed. I got a great youth director. We've got the Junior World Championships coming up in July. And then the high school championships be August, I believe. The high school championship World Finals is the largest bass tournament in the world, adult or child. Last year we had 426 boats, I believe, were in it. And they're from all across the United
Wow.
States. We normally hold our championships in the middle part of the United States so that people coming from the west coast of California and ones coming from Maine can all have a share ride,
That's incredible.
And so the juniors, last year we were in Paris, Tennessee on Kentucky Lake. Don't know yet where we're going to be this year. They're finalizing the deal with the local community.
Right.
And they'll be announcing that here soon. So if you come fish with us, qualify during the juniors. Juniors are up to the 9th grade. And you'll be going to Junior World Championship. All of the high schoolers can go to the World Finals. So that's a pretty neat deal. If they win the state championship at the high school league, they get a bye at the first round of the World Finals. But all of the high schoolers can go and then hit the qualifying round and advance to the World Final round.
That's amazing.
Pretty neat.
That is, I'm familiar with the Bassmaster Series high school, but I didn't realize that. And that's just more opportunities. Are you seeing growth with the youth or in this program over the years? Is it growing?
It's growing. It died out for a while. We revamped the way we do it.
Okay.
And then they're growing back. The youth are coming back. We see it as an opportunity to give kids an option.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a whole lot of bad things they could be doing, but we
That's
give them
right.
an option to put a rod and reel. We give away about 400 rod and reels a year.
Wow.
We get rod and reels from donations or wherever we can get them. We go recondition them first, and we'll go to a tournament. We'll carry 50 rod and reels with us, and the kids walking through the parking lot, we'll holler and tell them, "Come over here a minute, pick you out a rod and reel."
Wow.
The smile that comes on some of them's faces is just pretty cool.
Yes.
In this building today, we have 3 of our former Casting Kids champions that went on to fish high school, fished collegiately, and now are fishing either pro or some of the big leagues. One of them's fishing in the Bassmaster circuit. Another one's fishing Toyota Series. My son's represented up there with JB Custom Rod up there. He's a pro staffer there. He went on to the national championship and the big thing on Table Rock Lake. So it's just neat to see these kids come from out here casting, like you said, Jake did, and then move all the way up.
That's
and
amazing.
Make it to that level. So they keep that intensity, but it's what you teach them at this age that keeps that desire.
Absolutely. And that's great. Like you said, you do see you have a lot of adult volunteers, and that's important too. For us too, like boat captains, that we, to see that mentorship. And that again is so important. I was talking to Davey Height there earlier about how is when you're young and you're competitive and you're all about competing, and then as you get a little older, and I see this time and time again with us too, the older generation, been there, done that. They've competed, they've won, they're wanting now to give back to young people and help them find the same enjoyment that they had, in the fishing industry. And that's really strong too. So with that said too, are there ways that people can get involved with your organization as a mentor or a coach or boat captain? And where do they go to do that?
Call me.
Okay.
You go to our webpage. My name's on there, phone numbers and email addresses. One thing that we've seen pretty neat is the amount of guys who want to volunteer and help. We changed our format so that the kids now fish at the same time the adults do. And so when the tournament's over, you see them hanging out with the adults and sharing. But the big thing is it gives them a big tournament effect. Instead of them showing up for a 6-boat youth tournament, they're showing up and blasting off in a 60-boat tournament.
That's right.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but when I first started fishing in big tournaments with big boats, my first tournament, I had butterflies, was giddy, didn't sleep all night, And the
Mhm.
blast off that next morning, all was the smell of the outboard motors
That's
burning,
right.
but the excitement. And these kids are the same way. You
That's
see the smile
exactly
on their
right.
face, and they're used to fishing John boats and stuff. Now they get in a boat with a 250 horsepower motor and taking off down the lake.
That's
and
right.
The excitement's pretty cool.
It is true, and you're right too about that. I've heard a lot of people say that blast off is what really hooks them and catches them. Like it's that excitement and that adrenaline. When you bring up an interesting thing too, which is so true, is how many times we get as excited about the preparation leading up to, a fishing trip, not even competitively, just going with your dad, your grandfather, or whatever like that. Getting your tackle box ready and your lures and your line and that preparation is almost just as fun as going out and hooking that good fish.
Yep,
So
it sure is. It's exciting, and then you see the kids over just fishing in that trout pond.
yes,
They catch that first fish
that's
of their
right.
life and the smile on their face.
Absolutely.
And, I had a kid fish with me one time in one of the youth tournaments, and he was struggling to set the hook, so I switched him over to another rod with braided line on it, so he didn't have to really set the hook.
Right.
He just had to pull, and I had him on a spot where you could see the fish down there, and he ended up catching a limit, and he won.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, he hugged me and he said, "Mr. Whitmore, I've never won anything in my life.
My gosh.
I'm horrible in sports." And he was in unfortunately, he was single parent
Yeah.
deal, and he just didn't have anybody that took him fishing, and that would touch me, man. I tell you, it was.
Oh, I guarantee it.
See that kid, like that, and you'd have thought he won $1 million. He won a trophy and a bunch of goodies.
That's incredible.
But, he was so excited. He finally won something. So you don't know how you touch that
That's right.
child's life. He could have been on a path somewhere else, and that
That's
changed
right.
him over. He ended up fishing with us until he aged out.
That's
So it
awesome.
was pretty cool.
That is so cool. And you're right. I coached, high school baseball for 17 years and, football and wrestling. That's the other thing I like about fishing. And I tell kids that it's nothing against those sports and athletics. And I tell them too, they can do both. You can be that football player and still fish, baseball player, soccer player and still fish. And the idea too, though, what's so great about fishing, like you said, you don't have to be the biggest, fastest and strongest. You can go out there on that boat and you got a good mind and you can work on your casting skills. There's still those techniques of skipping and flipping and pitching, and there is a skill set, but you can go out and compete with, and same thing like you're saying too. We joke too, Jacob Neff and some of our youth that went through the high school program, and now they're fishing with adults and they're rolling in our adult tournaments, and it's like, oh great, it doesn't matter his age. You better come to fish because there's many times he's putting a hurting on us.
That's right.
And because he's a good angler, good stick, and you're right. That's the cool thing about this sport as well, is that anybody can do it, and anybody, male, female, girls. Wish there was more females in it too, because
We got a ton
there's
of
some
girls
good
involved.
anglers too.
Had one want to sign up today for the high school team.
Good.
It's I fished with Rick Pond a couple of times.
Okay.
And it was pretty cool because Rick he's mental, right? He's
Yeah.
thinking about it. And one thing he told me, he said, Scott, it's 10% ability, 90% mental.
Yep.
If you're prepared, you want to do it, you
Yep.
got your mindset to it, the skill is 10% of it.
That's awesome.
And he said, you just got to think like a fish, understand
That's
the
right.
biology of the fish, how it reacts to sun and
Yes.
barometer and all that. And some of these kids are starting to learn that in high school. They're
Right.
in their biology classes, and they talk to us about it. We think that's pretty cool. We're also, as Virginia Bass, we are partnered with the DWR.
Okay.
We do a lot of their conservation work for them. We bring the youth out to do that. We go out, we do cleanup days, bring the youth club out, go do a cleanup. We do cookouts for them, if they come and volunteer. So it's getting them involved in how important the environment is. And
Yes.
so they're not just thinking about going casting, catching a fish. Because if you don't keep the environment right, there's not going to be any fish.
That's exactly, being good stewards of the resource and the fishery. That is so. I think you might have donated to Virginia Department of something like some stuff, gear, rods and stuff. I helped him carry them out yesterday, and that's what he said. And I can tell you, he was very appreciative of that donation because I know they're doing great things too, and the resource and both the resource of kids fishing and also the rivers and lakes and streams and things like that. So that's also very strong with stewardship and like you said, your biology classes. And if we had more of that, I know some of where we're from, they do the trout in the classroom programs and stuff. And it's, that's education, that's learning. And that's why I like this platform. That is the advantage kids have today too. Whereas we used to have to read it, read it in a magazine.
Pick up a smartphone.
Now they're picking up a smartphone, YouTube, and you can learn anything. And so I'm amazed at some of the skill set of these kids and how good they are. And I think a lot of it is because they get so much more information than we had growing up, and they're that much farther ahead of us. And then you get into electronics. I'm behind electronics, but they pick it up really quick.
I not hit the on button. Some of these kids can, they go and sit down on one of these new depth finders and program it in, wait for once
they're
and all
dialed in, and
like it's nothing. So it is amazing what they've got at their fingertips now.
That's
and
right.
That's really the pros are seeing it. The pros are seeing the younger generation come in, and it's making it tougher on the old pros.
That's right.
To win at the pace they used to win, because these young kids come in, they've studied the environment, how the effects of it are.
That's right.
They know the electronics, and they're tough.
Yeah.
You look at watch in Bassmaster this morning before we came up here, and there's the youth that was there. It was really amazing.
Yeah.
The people like a Davey Height, they're the old guys. Man.
Yeah.
Him, Clun, Larry Nixon, all them.
Yep.
And so it's pretty neat. Hank Cherry was here this weekend.
Yep.
Hank actually fished one of our tournaments a couple years ago.
Is that right?
On the Chickahominy River, him and Jacob Porosnik. So
Yeah.
it was neat to have them there. We had youth there that day. Anybody in our big tournament, we give away a $100 bill to the highest finishing youth. We have a crisp $100 bill,
Yeah.
So that
That's
kid
cool.
comes in, and he's on the team that's the highest finisher. They hand him that $100 bill. They may not have won the tournament, but he gets a $100 bill. His
That's
partner
right.
doesn't.
Oh, that's good. There you go.
So
That's
pretty
cool.
neat.
Now, I'm glad you dropped Larry Nixon's name. I was talking about him earlier. Thomas was talking about the show, and it was probably 7-8 years ago. Larry Nixon was speaking down at the thing, and as an old timer, and I was telling him that was when he was throwing a little Ned rig, and he was talking about it. And he said his specific thing was, don't be putting this on Facebook, because this is the only reason I'm able to keep up with these young bucks coming in here. So, and that sparked me. I was like, Ned rig, and started fishing it. So, well, that's great. Well, listen, we appreciate, Scott, everything you're doing for the youth and the Federation, and need more people like you out there doing that. And if you're there listening now, I know for me right now too, I'm saying with Jake's, I'm going to reach out to you, see if we can get you all up there to the shop, and we'll set up a date, because we've got a lot of young kids in our area that would love to do something like that, and be a partner on that, so that we can keep the fishing tradition going, beyond our generation, even the middle-aged folks. Hopefully it'll be going on forever.
They are the future. Without them,
That's
this
right.
sport will die.
That's exactly
And
right.
It's more than just the sport of fishing. It's like we talked about. They've got to continue to push with conservation.
That's right.
There's more pollution today than ever was.
That's right.
And it's keeping them involved and understanding.
That's right. Yep. Well, Scott, thanks a lot. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, stay in touch, and actually, we have members in Winchester. Probably know Tom. Not everybody's on the same schedule.
Exactly. Perfect. All right, stud, you can just have a seat. We can go on. All right, stud, yeah, have a seat, man. Thinking about bringing it back. Podcast. I know the last time we talked, we said a little bit of a yes on it.
I started on Facebook, got 20,000 followers pretty quick on Facebook. It started growing. Then I got hit with the setback on losing all those episodes in the midst of the summer rush. But I'm definitely bringing it back. I love talking with people. And
brand too.
It is good. It is good. People want to hear about you and what you do, and about the anglers too. So
Now, making sure I get everything right. How do I say your last name to make sure I don't?
it is Page.
Page.
P-A-G-E. Caleb
Just
Page.
as it says. Some weird ass French pronunciation. Okay. Perfect. And then business.
It is Catch the Fever.
Perfect. All right, catch the fever. 2 minutes, and then we will go into it here, bud. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Fishing the DMV. Huge shout out to Jared for giving my vocal cords a break here. I'm running on like 22 hours of talking, and I'm getting on fumes here. We've had a great expo so far. It's been a lot of fun doing something like this. I did not think the expo would have as many people as it did. Not going to lie, which is great for them. It's been an absolute fantastic turnout. The next company that we have, one of the vendors here, he stopped me. We're talking about the podcast studios and stuff. And he was gracious enough to be extremely flexible. I wanted him on the show, but I couldn't tell him when. And he said, like, dude, you tell me when, I'll be over here. So without a further ado, let me just get this guy on here. Catch Fever. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, we are doing good. Thank you so much for having us on the show.
No problem at all. I mean, like, the floor is yours. You told me a fantastic story. And what's so interesting with so many of the guests we have on with these small businesses, and this is different, guys. It's huge different from corporate, because in corporate, it's not a one individual that makes these decisions. In the beginning, maybe, but as a small business, you have to have a little bit of guts and to take some risk at some point to have that big moment. And just tell people at home, like, how the hell did you get started in this thing?
Well, my story is a little bit unique. I worked in refrigeration before this. I was a diehard fisherman. I'm talking beating the boat ramps constantly. And I mean, I would drag the boat in coming into work and sleep the last couple hours before I had to go into work. And that love of fishing outside of work turned into learning about product, how to develop product. Ended up in 2014 reaching out to a manufacturer after doing some homework. Told them about a rod that I wanted to create for cat fishermen here on the East Coast. Catfishing's huge, all the way from South Carolina up to Virginia, even out to Mississippi, places like that. They designed a rod for me, just really wanted some rods for me and my friends. People started to like them, decided to start a company and call it Catch the Fever. Had no previous business experience, just knew that there was a need for a set of fishing rods that people could fish, basically a one rod that would do it all for cat fishermen.
Why catfish?
So I grew up catfishing, and about 8 years ago, I mean, it was pretty much Coleman Lantern, old guy in the boat catching catfish. I saw like the popularity growing. There's really nothing in fresh water, even for you guys listening, that's going to be 100 pounds at your local hometown lake other than a catfish. So there's a big lure there. 8 years ago, there really wasn't any rods or gear that people made for catfish guys specifically. And so I started to learn and developed the Big Cat Fever rods. And as I was telling you before the podcast, launched a company called Catch the Fever, the brand that pays to fish. Me and my business partner, we decided to put a stipulation on there where if you catch a state record using Catch the Fever rods.
And let's add some, I want to add some context. Was this like 6 years into the business that you made this decision?
No, this was on like day one.
Shit.
Ridiculous. We were thinking, we were broke, but it was a dream and a desire. We had a prototype. We had just got our shipment in. The rods were perfect. We had a reason for why we were designing the rods. And I want anybody listening to know that. I talk to people. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have money. You don't have to be born into something to make something. The most important thing is why you're doing what you're doing. And if you're out to develop a product to solve a need or to do something better for a reason, opportunity comes. And we decided to do that on day one, where we were going to put that stipulation out there to get people's curiosity up to give us a try. And on day one of launching the company, we sold some rods to our local friends, launched the website, sold some rods on the website. And within like a week, Zach Royce out on Lake Gaston caught a state record on our rods. And we were thinking, what are the odds of somebody catching a state record? It's few and far between.
That is insane.
So when you're weighing that risk of offering a $10,000 payout, you're hoping that in your first year of business, 3 years of business, you'll have traction. You'll have a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Paying somebody wouldn't be a problem. 1 week into starting a new business, that's a death sentence.
But that is like in your mind at
crazy.
the moment, it's like the worst lottery ticket ever because you think, who the hell's going to catch the state record that way?
I'm telling you, I was in church on Sunday. This is God's honest truth. I've done other podcasts talking about it. It's the God's honest truth. I was in church. My phone is vibrating like crazy. I still sat with my mom. I'm an adult. I'm 34. But I still sit with my mom. She looks at me like, what's your phone? And I'm like, I don't know. It keeps buzzing. I had it on silent. Text message start coming in. Caleb, Zach Royce on Lake Gaston caught a state record with y'all's rods. Bro, talking about wanting to go to the altar. I was like, oh my goodness. I am screwed. I am royally screwed. So I got up, went outside. Everybody's like, Zach Royce on Lake Gaston just caught a state record using y'all's rods. He's going to get the payout. In our terms and conditions, it says the fish has to be released alive. And also, it has to be certified by wildlife. You have to get the piece of paper. It's got to go through them. Once that happens, then we pay out. So I had about a 3-week window to figure out where I'm going to pull $10,000.
Lord. That's insane.
It was. So left church, went to the lake, saw the fish, helped certify the fish with the wildlife, congratulated Zach, told him once he gets the certifications, come see us. Went home depressed. I mean, what am I going to do now? I was newly married at the time. I was the only one working, but I was going to figure it out. Well, Zach Royce, for everybody, I don't know if you've seen this. If you go on YouTube and you type in state record catfish, Zach Royce, he filmed that fish being caught. He filmed it. So it's on YouTube. It's got over 1 million views from our company, Catch the Fever. He gave us the footage. We put it on our Catch the Fever YouTube. That's helped out a lot too. So for everybody listening, Zach had the fish alive. He put it in a big tank, went out on the lake to go release it where he caught it. Releases the fish live, on camera, on that footage, on that video. Decides, I'm already out here. I might as well pull a drift out of this cove, see if I catch another one, another catfish. That video is also on YouTube on that same video. His rod goes down, and it's another state record, bigger than the one he just released. It's unheard of. He's in Ripley's, believe it or not, for doing that.
That's stupid. It's probably easier to win the lottery than to do something like that. That's insane.
The kid was in Wilmington at school. He wanted to be a guide. He was trying to get his name out there. And when this story broke that a young man on Lake Gaston didn't just catch 1 state record, but 2 state records in less than 24 hours, he had to drop out of college within 2 weeks and go guiding full time. Now he has a house on the lake. He's a very successful angler. He bought the lot next to him. He's doing well. He's doing good. It wasn't by luck that Zach caught it. This was not one of those just happened to be out there. Zach slept on his boat. He was somebody that was a diehard angler. He dials these fish in. And like I tell people, if you just get obsessed about what it is you're after, opportunity comes. It comes.
It really does, and it's so interesting because you took all these micro gambles, and it paid off completely for you. And it's so awesome to hear that, because if you guys want to become a professional angler, you want to start your own business, you're going to have to take a calculated risk at some point to have success. What I'm fascinated about too is really just the catfish community, because I talk about this on my show a lot. I have everyone on from the DR, from Maryland, West Virginia, and there's tribalism. There's so much tribalism in fishing. And sometimes I feel like it's to the detriment when we're trying to raise funds to help our fisheries out. And there's especially some tribalism between bass guys and catfish guys when it comes to like flatheads. I don't know about if you have that where you're at.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it?
I don't know. You've got it where, some bass anglers, they see the flathead as a predatory fish that could be eating the flatheads and stuff like that. But there's checks and balances in every body of water. But with us, we went from catfishing to striper fishing to crappie fishing. We're in other markets now, and we're about unity, working together, and making sure that the bodies of water that we're in, the some of the bass guys, striper. I mean, they'll eat bass and other things like that, but it really needs to come together as a community, and we can get a lot done when we all work together, band together.
What was and you said, I think you guys mentioned this off camera, I think. So you went from catfish to striper next. Was that the next one you went into?
So after Zach caught the second state record, and the news blew up about our company, we sold all of our inventory in 24 hours. So we got the money to pay him, plus we got the money to buy more. And for 2 years we just did catfish. Then we got into striper fishing. Striper anglers reached out to us and they were like, hey, we saw what you guys are doing in the catfish market. We'd love for you to design a rod for professional striper fishermen and recreational. So we already had experience. We'd already had great contacts, even better contacts. Started working to design striper rods. And it's a pro angler, Mike Smedley. He's on YouTube. All he does is travel the country fishing for striper. He helped us design those, him and Chip Bragg, and they were a hit. We have several retailers here that carry them. They sell really good here in Virginia, and then we just go to the next species.
What's the difference then for the novice with a striper rod? Is
It's a
there
good
something
question.
particular about it?
Yeah, absolutely. With a catfish rod, it has to be really durable. Catfish guys are rough on their stuff.
So very parabolic.
Yep. Has to be parabolic, rough on their stuff. But striper guys, what they're looking for a lot of times, our rods are mainly live bait rods. And when you're fishing live bait, you have to be able to keep that live bait alive. And if you have a stiff rod on the tip, that fish, when he's pulling, it'll kill it. So you have to have a rod that's designed where the tip is real limber, where that live bait can act natural for that striper to grab it. If that striper comes up and sees something's off, sometimes they'll pass on it. Also, you have to design a rod that's more lightweight. Striper guys like their stuff a little bit lightweight. They're using a little bit smaller reels. So it's really working with the anglers to design a rod that's around them.
Is it just you? Like, so example with the striper stuff, how many people were in your think tank when you came to the design?
Yeah. So when you're coming into a new market, especially one that you don't know, it's hard to be a perfectionist in everything. So what we do is we go and look for who is the best out there, who is the best, and we approach them. We show them what we're doing, or maybe they've heard of us, and we bring them in. And then we also ask for them to bring a few other people that they feel confident that could, give us some outside in. You can work with one guy, and that's good. You can make a signature series rod for one guy. We don't do signature series that much. I like to have at least 4 or 5 people that are expert in their craft, and we can all put different ideas in. And when you get at least 3 to 5 people throwing ideas, it works here, it works in the Midwest, it works in California. You're really making something that helps everybody.
That's crazy. I mean, do you have anything else like on the horizon that you guys are going to be getting into?
Yeah, we just launched our precision crappie rods. We have designed a full lineup of inshore stuff, working with inshore guides. That was a learning curve. So there's a lot of stuff that we've got coming up on the horizon. But right now, our main focus for our company is just really making our products more accessible. The catfish, the striper, and the crappie rods to more people in the States. So we don't have really anything we're going to release in this coming year. We're going to really try to work on building relationships and partnerships with more shops and distributors to get those products out. But you can find some inshore stuff coming.
And then plus, I mean, I think we talked about this off air too. Now you're in some major retailers now too.
Yeah, absolutely. We just went down to Florida, met with Walmart. They're looking at carrying some of our fishing line and stuff like that. But Green Top, that's a company that's here, right here in Richmond. We're about 400 stores across the United States.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's nice. A lot of people have asked us, have we went after Cabela's, Bass Pro, places like that? We've been approached, but right now the main focus is working on with that mom and pop tackle shop or that privately owned chain. And what I love about that is if you're if you're out of something or if they need something, they're grateful that you send it to them fast. Or it's a relationship, and we're building that relationship first before we get into more of the corporate, establishment.
Do you feel like that's coming?
Oh, it is. It is. They've approached us. I just feel like there's close to 24,000 tackle shops in and around the United States. I'm only in 400. I got a long ways to go.
How does that make you feel as a guy that saw this baby? I mean, I'm not saying you're ready to sell out, but like as that idea of the corporate and getting bigger and bigger is approaching, how emotionally does that?
That's a good question. We've been approached a couple times, but I think the corporate side of it, getting into those big stores, where if you have delays or messed up shipments, you can be fined, stuff like that. I think that'll be for the next guy.
Okay.
I think that'd be for the next guy. I love the personal interaction with the local shops, with anglers and stuff like that. But on one side, it needs to scale to those big relationships. But on the other side, I love working with hometown people, and that's where my heart's at. And
it's
we'll
hard. It really is. When you're a business owner and you build something and you get to that stage where it's like you got to go to that next step, it tears up on your stomach a lot. Like, can you make this next step? Do I want to? Am I going to lose control? Am I going to lose the ability to? The thing that you enjoy about owning a business, is that joy going to be gone out of it?
That's right.
It's stressful.
Yeah, it's very stressful, and there's always something popping up that you're not ready for. And people, if you're thinking about starting a business or running a business, if you have a great idea, the issue you're going to run across is capital. There ain't going to be enough capital. How are we going to pay for this? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? If you got plenty of money, you're going to run across manufacturing issues. It's always going to be something that's right outside of your grasp. And the best thing to do is have some contacts of people that have already been where you're headed. If you're into women's clothes, have a woman that has built and sold a company in women's clothing that you can call and say, here, I'm in this ditch. What do I need to do to get out of it? That'll help you sleep better at night instead of just kind of winging it, I guess. But we're all winging it at the end of the day.
We really are.
Yeah.
And unless you wing it and take some risks, good things won't happen, whether it is creating a business from scratch or catching the state record twice.
Catching the state record twice.
Catch the fever, guys. Again, like always, when I re-upload this to Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, all the links to their products will be in the episode description. Also, I'll put their social media links in there as well. What are you guys on? Are you guys on the old Facebook, Instagram stuff?
Catch Fever on Facebook and on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're very active on TikTok, YouTube Shorts.
Awesome.
Just type in Catch Fever.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate you. That was awesome. Thank you.
Again, like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to take another break while I go grab my next guest, and we'll see you soon on Fishing the DMV. Bye.
on my property. You didn't win shit in my yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your hosts, Thomas Ahrens and Jared Mounts. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Sorry about that, guys. Just trying to get my last person on, but I figured out that I'm actually pretty exhausted. So I will say, as my wife said, I was given a gift to be able to talk a lot, and I did do that today. We're going to give our closing thoughts on how everything went. This has been an absolute ball. We are at the Richmond Expo, guys. This is day 3. They close here at 5
o'clock
today.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They close at 5 o'clock.
It's going on 4 now.
Yeah, I mean, closing thoughts really, and this will take 20 minutes, something like that. What blew your mind away about this? Like, to me, it was like the subtle guys. Like, we had some really cool individuals on, like the woodworking one where he's making art. That's something you don't get at Bass Pro Shop. You know what I mean? The connections you can make in the industry. That's other things that you just can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, it's, like for me, like we've been coming down here for quite some time, and we've never set up. We're always the spectator, kind of going through, buying some baits, talking to different people. So first time actually setting up in a booth, and you're right, a lot of networking. The Bass Federation, watching that, hearing from Scott, I didn't realize like education of like being involved in the high school Bassmaster is one deal, and this is a whole nother area that I guess is kind of like Elite Series, MLF, FLW. Like it's all fishing, but there's different opportunities, which I think is kind of cool. I didn't know about that, and so learning, educating myself, learning what else is out there. We're gonna bring them to Winchester to do a kids casting type of thing, and that just I wouldn't have known that if I wasn't here sitting across from them and doing that interview with Scott. I donated to their thing, but having that conversation has educated me as to what they're doing. They're doing great stuff. How can we partner with them?
Yeah, I mean, that's just so important, the casting kids. Again, it speaks to me a lot, because if it wasn't really for the casting kids, I would not have gotten involved in fishing the way that I was able to. So I'm really blessed for the opportunities the casting kids gave me, and just the youth programs, because unless you do something like this, you're not going to get kids involved in the outdoors. It's so vitally important. And then also, I like to see all the boat manufacturers. Like, that was so important to see the boat manufacturers, see the kayak people there, the different ways that you can get people involved in the sport. Shane Flynn Outdoors, where now he's doing tournaments where you don't even need a boat. You can go on the bank.
Right.
So now, if you want to be competitive in a boat, you can. If you want to compete in a kayak, you can. If you just want to compete from shore, you can. And then Catch the Fever, talking about, he's got an interesting story. I'll give you a little tidbit on this. He was HVAC, and he wanted to make catfish rods with his buddy. And they're like, cool, let's go do it. So they made catfish rods, and on the 3rd day of operation, like, well, we need some kind of hook to do it. So they're like, listen, catch a state record, we'll give you 10 grand. The next day,
No way.
they got the phone call that the Bugs Island state record was caught on their rod.
No kidding.
And he was shitting a brick, because he's like, I got to come up with 10 grand.
Wow.
The guy YouTubed the whole thing. And this was the thing that was funny. I brought it up on the video. The guy released the fish on YouTube and he decided to go fishing. That same day, he caught the next state record and beat his own, all on the rods, and it all worked out.
Wow.
But it was funny listening to him as a small business owner, like doing the HVAC, and like I see a niche in the market. We've talked about this,
Yes,
right?
Yep.
And then like I'm going to take this risk. I'm going to say, let's do this $10,000 promotion. And then his local community, they did a little news article on him, and his business took off. But places like this is where you're going to find that out.
Yes, and that is, and you're right with Tiger crankbaits. I mean, really cool. I mean, they're only not even a year in, I think, but just and there's people out there making baits in their basement, a dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
But what you find out too, to your point, I've talked to so many people down here that this is their passion. This is what they enjoy doing. You're not going to become a millionaire in the fishing industry, unless you're a big pure fishing, or whatever. But most people are doing this because they enjoy fishing, they enjoy helping others, and that's what I think is cool too. And it's and giving those folks a platform, an opportunity. Again, not to be a millionaire, but to make a bait, paint a bait, make some plastics, sell a lure. Again, ultimately, I'm smiling again because it's all going after the fish. I mean, all targeting a fish.
I'm going to show this off too. Wait, is this it? Okay, I thought it was like ice cream or something. Did he sign it?
Yeah. I had to go ask some random person for a Sharpie and everything.
So I want to show you this because this is what I'm talking about here. Like this is why you do these little kind of like expos like this. Look at that thing. Look at this.
Yeah, I need to get over there too. I need to buy one of these.
Yeah. Do you think you fish with that thing? No. You think, oh, this is
I would.
Oh, he's on this side. Fantastic.
I would.
This guy right here, and I bought this because when I look at this thing, it's almost like I think when you look at the Mona Lisa for the first time. His name is Jack. His name is Jack what?
Headley.
Jack Krause, Headley Baits. It takes him 30 minutes to make something like that. It takes him an hour to make something like that. But again, and it's not to knock. I think big chains are important. We've all late at night forgot a pack of Senkos and we did tackle warehouse. I'm not saying that there's any problem with that, but they're not going to carry something like that. Where would you find that unless you go to a local shop? It's amazing.
Right. And the story on that, again, I'm gonna share this again. I'm probably repeat myself, but we were down at ICAST, and I think it was a Pradco booth, but they were telling us about the original jitterbug being made by cutting off a broom handle, the top of a broom handle, and sticking a spoon on the end of it.
I didn't know that.
Without the handle, putting some hooks on it, and that was the original. I mean, you might want to fact check it, but I've had it confirmed twice that was a true story. Just the idea that that's how that was made. And then, I don't know what year that was, but, look at it now and it's still being used.
Isn't that crazy,
still
guys?
A very popular bait.
That's absolutely beautiful.
But you talked about art with him too, and it's a form of art. He's retired. He enjoys doing that, and that's cool.
And we'll get to that thought in a minute. Guys, let me know in the comment section below before we log off here. Please, I want everyone to let me know what you're doing right now, and then what was your favorite part about this weekend or anything that stuck out to you. Please let me know in the chat. We got a couple more baits to give away. The first 2 people to comment in the chat down below are going to win a bait today in the box that we have. Please get some comments going here. I have never caught a fish actually on a jitterbug. Have you?
Oh, my gosh, yes. So
really?
My jitterbug story, Shenandoah River, I'm wading the North Fork. I'm wading up to a bridge, and then I'm going to walk out. It gets dark on me. I'm ready to step out of the river. Blew a hole in my bottom of my tennis shoes. They was kind of flopping along, but I said, you know what? One more cast. I chucked that thing across, jittering across the top. Woo! I mean, just big bite. Goes down. I think I've got a 4 or 5 pound smallmouth. Get it in. It's a 3-foot catfish. So a little disappointed it wasn't a smallmouth, but it was a good story. So yeah, jitterbug is. I don't throw it as much anymore, but again, that's that old reliable that they will catch fish. I mean, the whopper plopper is taking over, but I can promise you throw a jitterbug out there, you're going to catch fish.
We got Linda Abby. I loved working with you and seeing the twin troller boat. Well, you got to buy. I know that. Hey, Dad, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know who you are because you don't own a Facebook or know how to operate a computer. No, I'm just teasing. I love you. We got Country Boy. Hey, guys, Country Boy things. Are you guys still listening? Please let us know what about this booth you like. And then we got great job with the expo. Thanks. The other thing that we talked about too, and I really want to micro clip this. I think it's so important. Jared and I will usually go on rants with the camera off, and so the quick version of it is like find your niche in the community. So many people are like, hey, listen, I have to be a bass master. I have to play in the NFL. Listen, I got to play in the major leagues. I got to do this, and you miss opportunities. And you deal with kids a lot more than I've had the pleasure of doing, and I think that's so important because so many people are like, well, I'm trying to find a way to make it in this industry. And looking around, it's like you can.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you going to be Jimmy Morris of the Bass Pro?
No.
But you can make it.
No. Yeah, you're going to be Scott Martin. Are you going to be, the Gerald Swindle? No, you're not. Because that's what we say too. Percentage-wise, it's not not in the cards. The percentage is very, very slim margin. But
the 1%ers.
I've learned from iCast, and as I look here too, again, you can work for the Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources. They've got a ton of occupation professions within that organization, not just biologists, game wardens. And then you could be a marketing person for Shimano or any of the big names, these boat companies you're talking about. There is like if you're an accountant, you could, like dealing with numbers. There's so many things within the industry. You're exactly right. But I think the problem is we're all striving to be that elite angler, and there's just not enough places at the top for, people. That doesn't mean you shouldn't strive for that or shoot for that, but you got to have a backup plan as well that you talk about a lot. You've experienced that as a college angler and coming out and realizing, and that was one of our conversations too, how much money. It's an expensive sport too.
It's expensive.
It is expensive, and you've got to have earning potential to be able to afford it.
It's overly expensive, and I know I'm blessed to be here right now, and I got to see brand new bass boats and brand new kayaks, and I'll be the first to say, like, guys, I do think it's too expensive. I think it's way too expensive, and even if I get sponsored by a boat company someday, which is a crack dream, but I'm saying, like, I would still say it's way too expensive. Boats are too expensive. I still believe all the professional circuits should be like, hey, listen, if you're repping our brand, but it's a used boat, that's fine. We're not going to force you to go like buy a brand new boat. I think that's a problem. I don't think you should be spending $100,000 just to fish the Bass Opens. I know it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's not far off. I mean, there are problems in the industry. Is it healthy? Yeah, it's healthy, but it could be polished up. It could change a little bit to give kids an opportunity and to be real about what it's like and how you find your opportunities. You got to be a small business owner. You are your own business. And so whether you're trying to catch fish on the Bassmasters or, the Hobie kayak trail or be a YouTuber, you're a business. And once your mindset switches to that, you actually have a chance of succeeding in this thing. Whoa, why are we blowing up right now? I enjoy. So we got David Williams. Great job at the. Great job at the expo, guys. We got David Williams again. The individual interviews were my favorite. I have been under the weather and unable to attend the show. I also liked the competition between you and your wife. We're going to do something else like that, but we got two amazing individuals that are come on, and they're going to battle to the death at the trout pond. Loser has to go swimming, hopefully. I also enjoy your coverage of the new boats. I'm making notes. It's not 100% yet, but there's a good chance we're going to be back next year. And if we are, we're going to do it better. I always look to do better. We're going to do more boat coverage, more kayaks, maybe more friendly competitions, things like that. Call tags. Somebody asked me about that. I do not agree with the call tag situation. I remember another comment, and I said I'm going to do it now because I will shut the computer off and I don't have to look at it anymore. I do not agree with the puncture tags 100%. Somebody brought that up. I think it's interesting that all the organizations except Bass allow that now for competitions. I think overall the sentiment is, well, I don't use them wrong. The problem is it's not you, it's the other person. And then when you extrapolate that number out to millions of people and 5% do it wrong, that's a lot of damage to the fish.
Yeah. I mean, fish care is important, and you're right. Yeah. You cannot deny having to care for the fish. And
it's just
even Carly said, like, was brought up about how to hold the fish, and I probably need a lesson on that too. Like I've heard different things. I think sideways is best. That you shouldn't hold it up and down.
Ways,
it is a fish. They go back in the water, they do swim off. But how we care for those fish, and we're doing better and better with tournaments. But it's still those conversations need to be had.
Well, it's the same thing with like the catch wave release.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, you guys can fight me on this all the time. Like, you can't tell me that it riding around the live well all day, it's better than just taking the picture,
Right.
weighing it, and dropping
Releasing
it back. That's all I've ever meant by it, by the way. It's like,
especially during the spawn though too.
From an ecological standpoint, for the fish population, catch, weigh, release is the best, period. And so I think that's what I'm saying is I think everyone agrees on that. Like, yeah, that's correct. But then it's like, well, what about the tournament format? Because I know the MLF Bassmaster argument is a complete issue and everyone likes their own. I think Bass could definitely do some things better. So now that I've, basically capped that one off, so I'm going through the checklist of everything I was supposed to talk about by the end of this thing. And also, David Williams, congratulations. You just won a bait. I don't know what bait. Hold on. Carly, grab something out of the box. Congratulations. You just won Chase Baits. You just won something. What does it say? Chase Baits? You just won Chase Baits and give me one more thing. No, yeah, give me one more thing.
Put a name on it. Put David Williams, right?
Pull something random. Not that one. That one's already gone. There you go. And you just won a swing
impact.
I'm an adult. I should read. Swinging impact fat Kitech. You just won 2 things. All right, we're going to give something else away. We got 9 people watching. We're going to give a few of these things away. I need somebody else besides David Williams before he goes home with a Bass Pro Shop bag. Somebody else. Yes, we'll do that too. Somebody else in the comment section, say something in the chat besides ... and you win a prize automatically. We'll finish this thing off. Linda Aarons, I see how it is. All right, do you want something, Linda Aarons? Would you like a bait? You want a bait? You want to go swimming in the pond? That'll make that happen. No, guys, we got about... I'm going to set a watch right here. All right, we got a little bit more time, and then we're going to have to get set up for our next little thing that we may be doing today. When it comes... We got to break down and set up some stuff. Oh, here we go. Kyle Kling, what's up, guys? Well, that's that. I thought you'd ask more stuff than that, but cool. Give me that right now. No, give me something else. Just randomly stick your hand in there, close your eyes, see what comes out. All right. Kyle Kling, you just won Chase Baits, a flip flop. That's a hell of a name. The flip. You'll want a flip flop. Congratulations. Chase Baits, you just want a flip flop. Linda Aarons, I am related. I know we have the same last name, woman. How the hell would they not know that? Yes, she's my mother.
Mom. I met Mom.
Is she? Because you put these like, well, their names are the same. That could be a thing. Congratulations. And Linda, you just won a worm that you can throw at whatever you do. Scott, you just won a bait. Congratulations. We got 13 people on. This is the fastest giveaway ever. You just get in and get out. I need somebody else to say something that's not just what's up. That'd be nice. Maybe just a comment or something about that. Who's your favorite football team? Do you guys think jet boats should be allowed in Bassmasters? Give me one more comment before we shut this shindig off. It was also really cool for Chris. I will mention this to embarrass the hell out of this man. But I don't know his last name.
Tedrick.
Chris Frederick.
Tedrick.
Chris Tedrick. Hold on. Jack Owens, Vikings. Congratulations, you just won a bait.
I know Jack. Is that Jack?
Jack Owens. Do you know him?
I know Jack. What's up, Jack?
Jack Owens, congratulations.
Jack. The Jack that I know.
Jet boat should definitely be allowed on tour. Agreed. We're just going to break the internet with some horrible remarks now. He said, hi, Jared. How do you know him?
My man, Jack. I used to teach Jack. Janesville High School. Love Jack.
All right, Jack, congratulations. You just won a bait. All right, here we're going to do something else. We're going to do something else real quick to give away one more bait. If everyone puts F in the chat, we get 4 Fs. I'm throwing a bait at a random person that walks by. They get a bait. I need 4 Fs in the chat, and whoever walks around is going to get a bait real quick. You see, I could have hit that person right there. It's kind of like how my mom tackled somebody the other day. Anyway, so we got how did the fishing demo go with Chris's bait? He's got a date with Davey Height. I think they're vacationing together now. He's going to have a couple of pictures of them up on his... No, I'm joking. He did... Chris is a really good dude. Chris Kendrick. Can I say that? Kendrick?
Yeah, Chris Tedrick. He sold at our 10-year anniversary. He set up, he's making spinner baits, and then we started carrying his spinner bait at Jake's Bait and Tackle, and he comes down, brings him down, and meets Davey Height. Next thing you know, he's standing beside Davey Height in the bass tank, and not just standing beside him, Davey let him talk about his baits, and then he throws it in the tank, catches it, hooks a largemouth.
We got 2 Fs in the chat. We need 2 more Fs in the chat. I'm going to start throwing some baits at some random people here. I'm going to do a giveaway to the people here. And we got, sorry, I was it Susan Kennedy Schick.
Oh, there's Susan. Hey, Susan. She was in Richmond this weekend too.
You got a fan base.
Delegate Wiley.
You got a huge fan base. That's freaking awesome. Like, you got so many people that actually know you.
Well, I was a teacher for 17 years and coached T-ball for 200 or 300 kids for 5 years.
I keep forgetting that. For some
And
reason.
a lot of those kids have grown up and now have kids, and I'm getting old, Thomas. Celebrated my 48th birthday. And
how many sports did you? Was it just football and baseball?
I coached football, played football, baseball, and wrestled. Coached football for 1 year, wrestling for probably about 10, and then baseball for 17 or 20. 10 years as head coach.
Yeah, he was a wrestler. He was a pro wrestler.
When you're in that profession, you come across a lot of people.
That's pretty crazy.
So,
all right, we need 2 more Fs in the chat. If you guys do 2 more Fs in the chat, I'm going to give away a bait to a kid here. If you don't give 2 Fs in the chat, you hate children. Just letting you know. So no pressure. 2 more Fs in the chat, and I give a bait away. The other thing, too, is we're having the drawing for the youth casting kids competition, the youth casting kids competition and youth sport brought on by the Bass Federation. They're doing an absolutely wonderful job supporting our youth. If you would like to donate, just go to the comment section and no, Linda, you can't just keep doing F. That doesn't count. So, yeah, so I have my mom just spamming us with the F button.
Thomas, you need to be nice to your mother.
I really do. We love. Okay, wait. So what I'm saying is, if I get 4 individuals to punch the F key and submit, as in fish, in the chat, 4 different people, I will donate a bait to kids that I see going through here.
I got one going behind me.
I got one kid behind us right now. I will give him a bait if I get you, Susan, to put F in the chat. No, I don't need you. You don't have to say Just hit F in the chat. Just hit the letter F. Put it in the chat. Kathy Taylor. Thank you. All right. We need 1 more F in the chat. There are 12 people watching right now. Could someone else of the 12 people put the F in the chat and hit enter? This should not be that hard. We have 1. We have 2. We have 3. We have 3.
David did 4 in a row.
No, F. There we go. Carly, hand me a bait. Grab me a bait. No, give me something else. You handed the worst bait to hand a kid. No, give me a plastic thing. That, perfect. Jared, go. Give that kid a bait.
Young man, you just won a Z-Hog. You like to fish?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Thank you for coming. You're welcome. Catch a big bass with that, all right?
All right, now, if you guys put Jake's in the chat, I want 4 people to put Jake's in the chat, and we're going to give it away one more time to a kid, and then we're going to shut off for today. All you have to do is type in Jake's in the chat, and then we're going to give one more bait away to kids. Jared is like Mr. Beat with baits.
I should have got that guy's hat.
I like this. There we go. We got 1 already. We got David Williams with Jake. Okay, Jared is like Mr. Beast with, instead of millions of dollars, he gives away baits. He's like Christmas. We got Linda Aarons. We got Jake's. We got 2. We got 3. We got 3 giving it away. Oh, my God. There we go. This is how you engage the community. Find somebody else. We got to find somebody else. Oh, we got some more people coming over here. All right, Jared's going to give that away real quick right here. I like doing this. Oh, Kathy Taylor just said Jake's as well. We got 5 for Jake's. All right, guys, this is fun. Now we're having fun. So now what I want you to do is type in DMV. Type DMV into the chat. We got 1 more bait to give away. Type DMV. I need 4 people to type in DMV, and you can win a bait right now. Type DMV into the chat right away. You get one right now. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Get a little closer.
All right, there we are.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
What do we have on the hat here? It's got a little bit of everything.
Another bait. Give me another bait.
It's like a tackle box.
Huh?
I love it. What's that? I'll do it tomorrow. We'll finish today.
that appropriate after the end of the show.
That's right. That's exactly right. Thank you.
We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, 4, and oh my God, we got a lot of people. Last one. This is the last bait that we got. Anyone else want that? Did that little kid already get something right there? Yeah, he did. Oh, we got a little girl over there.
I give one to the guy with the hat.
Oh, yes, that works. He's like a kid. See, when we say a kid, we meant a kid at heart. I'm sorry about that. I forgot to stipulate that. It's child at heart. It's kind of fun. Like, I mean, you want to get people engaged when they feel like they can help give stuff away. My God. We just gained 4 more viewers. Jared was meant to give stuff away. He was meant to work at a charity where we just hand him stuff and he throws it to people. He's fantastic at this. Oh, my goodness. All right. We found out. So, guys, you have the power. We're going to do this at our next thing. We're just going to give. Yeah. We're going to give things away. We're going to give a bag to Jared at our next thing, and he's going to start just throwing stuff away like he's making it rain. Because we just gained. We were just up to 20 viewers, and we dropped to 14 when Jared starts throwing stuff at kids. That was fantastic. I'm gonna close this out. Yeah, let's wrap it up. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything that you've done right now. This has been an absolute fun. We got 1 hour before this place shuts down, and we can start packing up. We have to pack up everything because everyone here has got to go to work tomorrow. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. This has been the Richmond Fishing Expo. Actually, one more bait. Give me one more bait here. One more bait. Give me one. Give me a plastic. We got one more. Yeah, give me that one. Give me that one. So, okay, we're gonna give away one more bait. We're gonna give away one more bait to the first person. Give me something in the chat. Give me Fishing the DMV in the chat. We're gonna give this bait away right now. Sir, here. We're giving a giveaway. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Cha-ching.
So we're going to do a new segment in the future where I just throw stuff at people. I love how... Done. We did it. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We're wrapping up here because we got to pack up. We're going to have a new segment next time. I love it. We're just going to call it Throwing Stuff at Kids. And we are signing off now, and I'll see you later on Fishing the DMV. Bye. Bye, guys.
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your hosts, Thomas Ahrens and Jared Mounts. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.